You may have noticed an increase in vivid dreams, borderline lucid dreams occurring now. I know I have been, there's been a lot more awareness to the dreams. I'll wake up remembering the dreams. And again, that awareness will be present during the dreams a lot of the time. Now, why is that happening? Well, as we receive these upgrade codes, these light codes, and our physical body is trying to release the dense energy, the stuck trauma that's been in there for a long, long time, we can sometimes move into the astral realm, and this often happens when we're sleeping. And that allows us more space to be able to allow this energy to rise up to be experienced. So you may be experiencing it in the dreams. It's going to look like a kind of loose interpretation of something that's happening here in the physical reality. And there's going to be a connection to that energy in the dream. And that's what you're going to be noticing, or maybe feel that familiarity to it, even though the scenery or the scene might play out differently in the dream state. It relates to an underlying emotion that maybe you've been struggling with in your waking state, or aren't even aware of it because it's occurring on a subconscious level. But nevertheless, it is coming up, and your higher self is showing you that this energy needs to be experienced and it needs to be felt so that it can be alchemized. So when you go through these dreams and you have awareness, it's very important to be aware of the emotion that it's bringing up. And again, maybe the scenario is relatable. You'll know right away, oh yeah, that's a loosened version of a scenario or a struggle that I'm going through in my life. Well, that's an opportunity on the astral realm, because remember, in this dream state, we're creating this reality. The laws of the universe and reality and manifestation are a lot looser in the 4D frequency. So it's a lot easier to essentially create these realities so that we can move through and experience and feel this dense energy that's trying to be released. So think of it as like a playground, or maybe like a sandbox. I don't know if you're a developer or whatever, computer developer, software developer, there's sandbox where you can go and you can test everything, right? So think of the 4D, the astral plane, and the dream state essentially as a sandbox where you could run through these different scenarios and maybe bring awareness to stuff that has been in the subconscious where you've lacked awareness during your waking state. So that gives you a great opportunity to kind of loosen things up, spread things out, spread your frequency, your vibration, raise it a little bit so that this stuff starts to percolate up. So that's what I've been noticing. That's been happening more and more for me. And it's interesting because the scenarios in the dreams are more directly correlating things that are happening in my physical reality. And it's giving me an opportunity to kind of work through them from a different perspective, because I have awareness in the dream state. I could bring forward my sovereignty, my power, more of that higher frequency light, and handle a scenario in the dream state from that perspective. Whereas here in the physical realm, I might be detached from that someone. I might not be able to really dial into that energy because the ego is so strong and the emotion feels so heavy because we're in a 3D state here, right? This physical matter. But again, the fourth dimensional state, that dream state while you're sleeping during the night, gives you the ability to really work through some of these and reconnect with higher versions of yourself, because you're higher up on the frequency scale. At that point, your brain waves are slower, you're more integrated, more coherent, more connected to your multidimensional aspects. That gives you the ability to really tap in to that energy, to that authority, to that authenticity of who you really are, and be able to bring that forward in the midst of the scenario in the dream. Okay, so, but what's really happening here? We can look at these dreams as actual parallel realities, even where these are scenarios that are set up on a higher frequency plane, where we could live out some of these energetic clearings and energetic healings. So we actually are the constructors. We're the ones that are constructing these scenarios, these movies in the dream state, to allow us to find aspects of ourselves that have been elusive to us during our waking state. Now, when we have these vivid dreams and these lucid dreams, and when we wake up in the morning and we remember it, there's an emotional tie to it that allows us to dive deeper into those emotions and bring awareness to them here now in the physical. So we're opening up a portal or a doorway to be able to tap in to find these programs within us, these limiting beliefs that have been controlling our lives. So we utilize the fourth dimensional field in the dream state to be able to tap into these things, to be able to reconnect with our power in the midst of that energy, bring it forward in the dream, see the scenario play out in a more favorable way, hopefully, usually in a more favorable way. Maybe not always, but that's because there's still more work to be done. So you'll probably have reoccurring scenarios of that in the dream state going forward, where eventually you'll be able to zone in, tap in to your higher self and bring that energy forward. But we work through these in the dream state, then we come back here and there's that energetic tie to that. There's the memory of the dream. So then we could further dive into that emotional, energetic blockage here in the physical body, do our breath work, meditation, whatever it is for you, a lot of grounding work, things like that, yoga, expansion, and really dive in and feel that more fully here. So we're going up here to bring awareness to something that's been eluding or elusive to us, and we're coming back down here with that awareness. So you're going to find that maybe you're a lot more active in your dream state. You're remembering more of your dreams. That's what's been happening to me. There was a period where I didn't remember a whole lot. Now I'm remembering more of it, more of these dreams. Every night they're getting more and more vivid now. And again, that's as this high frequency light and our star guides come in, our higher self comes in and holds space for us. The DNA gets to activate, okay? And then we utilize the fourth dimensional field in our dream state to bring awareness to these energetic blockages. We come back down here when we wake up and we continue to work through it. So it's an ongoing cycle. The other thing with these dream states is you're going to notice that they're going to open up portals and doorways to really to be able to consciously connect with your higher self, with your spirit guides, with your ET guides. Okay, so many of you are probably starting to have some of these dreams that maybe you don't fully understand relating to maybe ETs or different aspects. Maybe you're becoming a different aspect, non-human aspect in the dream. Again, these are DNA activations that are happening in your physical body, and they're starting to percolate up, and we utilize the 4D field in our dream state to be able to bring awareness to these aspects of us and reconnect with them. Now, a lot of times maybe they're nightmarish, where you have fears come up. You know, when I was little, I've told this story on my channel before. I think it's in my spiritual awakening story video. When my guide came in, I was really fearful when I was young of that. It brought up that emotion of fear. And that's something I had to work through just as little as 4 or 5 years ago when he returned and my star guides came through, the Galactic Federation, my Pleiadian guide, my Arcturian guide, and there were others. So that fear came up then. I worked through a lot of that in the dream state. I remember this dream that kept recurring where it was this big house, which represented my house, and there was a basement, and there was this being, this creature that I sensed as evil in the basement, and I was afraid to go down there. This was a recurring theme, so I continued to work through that with the help of the Galactic Federation and my Pleiadian guide and my Arcturian healing guide. All of that, along with my spirit guide, of course, helping me to work through these fears in that dream subsequently started to change. I was no longer experiencing that fear of going down into that basement. So that was a dream that really helped me to reconnect with my heart space. And there's a portal in here which allows me to get in, tap into my multidimensional self, and really open up that contact with my guides, my ET guides as well. So the dream state, that fourth dimensional field, very, very powerful. If you could bring awareness to it when you're asleep, when you're dreaming, and it becomes a lucid dream where you could have control over it, be very aware of the emotions. If you can't do that, you may have an experience in a dream and then wake up and something is going to be triggered within you that's going to come up to be felt because you're going to remember that dream, even though you weren't in control in it. It wasn't necessarily lucid. It still brought up something in that fourth dimensional field because you were the creator of that scenario. And with the help of your guides, you were able to experience something that needed to be felt, some stuck energy here in the physical body. So you come back to the waking state, you wake up and you have this feeling, dive into it, breathe with it, hold it. And a lot of times that will release, and the memory of that dream will come back to you if you didn't happen to remember it when you woke up. But the feeling is the tether. The feeling is the key. So bring awareness to the emotions that are happening within the dream. And again, if you have a lucid dream, very powerful opportunity to reach out to your guides, to your multidimensional self, tap into that energy and become that version of you in the dream, within the scenario, and watch how that plays out. And then again, if you awaken in the morning and have a memory of that dream, integrate, sit with that feeling of empowerment, of sovereignty, whatever it was that you were able to bring down into the dream, because we're at 4D now, right? In the dream state, we can reach up and pull it down here. When you wake up in the morning, you could pull it down here into the physical body. Okay, so we're stepping down our multidimensional energy so that we can embody it into the physical being and bring that energy forward here. So utilize the 4D field, utilize your dream state to be able to do that, to take that step to bring it there, and then wake up in the morning. That tether is the emotion, the feelings that you had during that dream. If it was empowerment, whatever it was, whatever you were able to grab from your higher self in that dream state, pull it down in here and embody it, fully feel it, breathe with it, make it part of you. And that's going to raise the frequency of your physical body and close that frequency gap. Okay, so very powerful right now. Like I said, if you guys have had your dreams kicking up in activity and in lucidness, things like that, I would love to hear from you. Go ahead, drop a comment below. That's what I've been experiencing. Things are very exciting right now. I know there's a lot of purging coming up, a lot of clearing, a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work. For me, I've got old things coming up from my past that are playing out now that I'm having to work through. But when we could approach it from the standpoint of it's a gift, it's an opportunity to rise in frequency and to do the deep healing work, we're just going to experience so many fantastic benefits from that. And of course, the biggest one is opening up more to your multidimensional self and being able to bring it down here, embody it, and help to manifest new earth right here in our reality. So thank you so much.